Hello, students. Today we are going to do The Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 3, lines 69 to 99. In the previous lines, we saw Shylock wanted Antonio to sign the bond as soon as possible and use it as a chance to take his revenge on Antonio. Shylock says that he thought that Antonio neither lent nor borrowed with interest. To this, Antonio replies, I have never lent nor borrowed with interest before. Abraham, a prophet, was the founder of the Jewish race. His son was Isaac. He became the second prophet. And Isaac had twins Esau and Jacob. Being the elder son, Esau was legally the third heir, but Rebekah, that is Isaac's wife, and Esau and Jacob's mother played trick as she wanted Jacob to be the third possessor or heir. Rebekah sent her elder son for some work into the fields and made Jacob get the blessings from his blind father Isaac, and Jacob became the third prophet. This Jacob from our holy Abraham was, as his wise mother wrought in his behalf, the third possessor. He was the third. Here Shylock says Jacob took his uncle Laban's sheep for grazing. By scheme, Rebekah, his mother, made Jacob the third prophet or the possessor heir. Antonio, and what of him did he take interest? So here Antonio says, what about him? Why are you mentioning him? Did he take interest too? No, not interest, not as you would say, directly interest. So Shylock says, no, he didn't take interest as you would say directly. Mark what Jacob did, but listen to what Jacob did. Now, this refers to a story in the Bible. Jacob, son of Isaac, went to serve under his uncle Laban. An agreement was made between Jacob and Laban that the former should receive for his services the lambs which were born with spots or stripes. During the breeding season, Jacob placed wooden rods on the ground so that the shadows of rods should fall on the sheep. By this means, Jacob said to have influenced the sheep so much that almost all the lambs were born spotted or striped and thus became the property of Jacob. When Laban and himself were compromised here means agreed. So when Jacob and Uncle Laban made an agreement that all the endlings will which were streaked and pied. This means Endling means newborn lambs, all the newborn lambs which were with fleece of two colors should fall as Jacob's hire, be counted as Jacob's wages. This was a way to thrive and he was blessed. Jacob became prosperous in this way and he was blessed. And thrift is blessing if men steal it not. Thrift means profit, so Shylock says profit is a blessing unless men steal. This means that a man can steal and he can say that this is a blessing from God, which is wrong. You cannot say that stealing is a good thing. Okay? Antonio, this was a venture, sir, that Jacob served for. Antonio says this was an enterprise for which Jacob worked as a servant, a thing not in his power to bring to pass, a thing which his powers could not cause to happen, means it was not in his hand of Jacob's to make this happen, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. That means it was controlled and created by the hand of God. Was this inserted to make interest good? So Antonio asked, was this mentioned in case to justify charging of interest? So, or is your gold and silver ewes and rams? Antonio says to Shylock, are you trying to say that your gold and silvers are like ewes and rams, which keep multiplying? Now, ewes are the female sheep and ram is the male sheep. Shylock, I cannot tell. I make it breed as fast. Shylock says, I cannot tell this, but I make my money increase or multiply in the same way. But note me, senor, but listen to me, senor. Antonio, mark you this, Bassanio, the devil can cite scripture for his purpose. Antonio says, just watch, Bassanio, the devil also can quote the Bible to justify his purpose. An evil sword producing holy witness. Evil here is Shylock, and he is producing, that is, quoting holy witnesses, that is, Jacob, the third prophet. Is like a villain with a smiling cheek means he says it looks like a villain with a smiling cheek, as in olden days villains were very bad looking. A godly apple rotten at the heart. It's like a good looking apple which has a rotten core, which is rotten from inside. Oh, what a godly outside falsehood had. This means what a good appearance falsehood can have. Shylock, 3,000 ducats, is it? A good round sum? So Shylock says 3,000 ducats is quite a big amount. 3 months from 12, then let me see the rate. Here Shylock says you want it for 3 months out of 12 months. Let me see the rate of interest. Antonio, well, Shylock, shall we be holding to you? Antonio asks, well, Shylock, are you going to lend us the money? Let us do another idiom today. Faint hearted. It means someone who can be easily scared. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for the latest updates and like the video if you have understood.